My part-time job is creating content here on YouTube, which in most cases shares and reviews AI tools for building and promoting your brand. So I'm very familiar with this world. My full-time job is working as a brand strategist, which I've done for 12 years. Today, this is the first time on this channel that I'm going to give my opinion on ChatGPT, what you need to know and consider about this tool as a means of building and promoting your brand. Let's discuss it. I'm Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I promise practical advice to build your brand. Today, I am talking about OpenAI and specifically ChatGPT for the first time on this channel. There's a lot of chatter about this online in differing perspectives. So the angle that I'm taking today is one that I always take, which is how can busy working professionals like you benefit from this tool or integrate it into their workflow as something beneficial and not just a shiny new object or a distraction. So maybe let's start with a quick explanation of this tool. Yes, an explanation seems like the right place to start, and there's going to be a lot of different ways that this is defined out there in the world. This is an article that I found recently that I think summarizes it in a sentence really well. It also gives some examples of how it's being used, so you might want to spend some time in this article, but for now, let me read this definition. What is ChatGPT? It stands for Chat Generated Pre-trained Transformer. That's a mouthful. It is basically an AI chatbot that utilizes a natural language processing model called ChatGPT 3.5. At the time that this blog post was published, we now have 4.0, and this was developed by OpenAI. So in this video, I'm not claiming that I'm an absolute ChatGPT expert. I'm certainly still in the learning stages, as you probably are, but I will give examples on how this platform can be used effectively. SEO, it recommends very early on in this video that keyword research clusters and topic suggestions are a great way to use that. We'll try that in a moment. But while we're talking about definition, let's just look at one more. This one is from Marketing Taylor, linked in the description below, talking about how businesses can use ChatGPT for content marketing. They also define it. ChatGPT is a chatbot designed to assist with customer support, conversation, and information gathering tasks. I also chose this definition because it's not replacing humans, at least not yet, but I will give some tangible examples and why in this video. These are three ways that it can be used very effectively: customer support, conversation, and information gathering tasks. Now keep that in mind and let's jump into an example. It sounds like a miracle tool, right? Well, some are claiming it is. I'm a little bit more on the skeptical side and have absolutely no fear at this stage that it's going to replace humans or people, particularly those in creative roles, and I'll explain. Yes, so far my favorite examples of using ChatGPT effectively are related to technical searches or prompts. So I'm going to go ahead, and since I have access to GPT-4, that's the latest model, we're going to use that, and we'll start with a prompt. This prompt will be designed to help me understand what keywords I should use to rank for my website. Okay, before I click enter, I'll read it out loud. I want my website, philpallen.co, to rank for personal branding agency. What other keywords should I target? Let's see. Here we're letting ChatGPT do its thing, and it will begin to actually answer my prompt and include some of its sources. Now, even after speeding that up and showing it to you in just a few seconds, I can say on this end that that prompt response took less than a minute. And it not only gave me some keywords that I can use to start, we're gonna actually copy those, we're gonna use those in a second, but it actually gave me further advice, SEO related, on where to actually sprinkle these keywords. So headings, titles, meta descriptions, and throughout blog posts or service pages. It actually went onto my website and sourced blog post guides and even podcast episodes like the one mentioned in, and then a link to the podcast page on my website. That is incredible. It is really, really impressive. But let's now take it a step further. We're going to want to organize the keyword list that it gave us into groups based on search intent, okay? And there are 4 categories that I'll type out here. There we go. Those are our keywords. Now we'll let it do its thing and sort this into SEO categories. sped up. For the purpose of this demo, you'll note that I only started with 10, so there are a few categories that have not been covered. If I wanted, I could add another prompt for ChatGPT to give me a few categories in these titles, but I love that it is actually helping me categorize this, and it gives me some area of where I could improve on generating more keywords. Let's keep going. Let's say I want to organize these keywords into content clusters. This is actually going to help me create an outline for a blog post, for example. So let's do that now. Okay, let's take a look at our results. I'm very happy with these. So it did a possible organization of the keywords. It noted that there could be some overlaps, but let's see, our first pillar is branding. Our content cluster is brand strategy, and content cluster 2 is brand development. So right away, this is giving me ideas on how I could structure a piece of content like a blog post to make sure I'm covering these different keywords in more detail with examples that I might have. It also gives me some general advice on how content pillars and clusters can actually be used to strengthen your SEO. So I love that it's not only answering the prompt that I gave it, but it's also giving me some additional advice for things that I might not already know. Let's look at one more example. I want to generate a list of most frequently asked questions related to, let's say, personal branding that are relevant, let's say, to new people looking to hire an SEO agency. This again will give me content ideas for potential YouTube videos, blog posts, or podcast episodes. Let's see this. Fantastic. Before we look at our questions, I want to read this last sentence. Please note that some questions were derived directly from the sources, and while others were formulated based on the context and relevance to the topic. I love that in the latest version of ChatGPT, at least at the time of recording this video, it is very clear to see where the sources are. So these little numbers in square brackets, I can click on those. It will open a new window with where this information is being sourced. That's very important because with tools like this AI tools, ChatGPT, there is a risk of plagiarism, which I think is a huge problem, particularly for like students writing essays or anyone creating content. You do not want your content to be plagiarized, so it's really important. I would recommend adding an extra step to your content workflow and pasting the final product into a plagiarism checker just to be extra safe. But these questions right away: what is personal branding? Why is it important for a career or a business? What are the key elements of a strong brand that an SEO agency can help me develop? How long will it take for an SEO agency to improve my personal brand? You get the picture. This is absolutely awesome, and I certainly have a ton of content ideas just after spending a few minutes here. I also love that this tool is text-based. So for me, I create content on Instagram frequently, and occasionally I use a template that is text-only, like what I posted today. So no need for strong visuals, text-only. Once I'm sure that that text that ChatGPT shot out at me was not plagiarized, I could then take that, add my flair, my personality, and post this as a text-only post on Instagram, certainly cutting down the time it would take from having to write something from scratch. Finally, I want to hop over to this email that I got recently from Really Good Emails. If you are into email marketing, this is a really great option, a subscription that will give you inspiration on good emails. And I love what they say here. I mean, we're all trying to understand how this tool can be used within our own marketing, but they say something really important here. ChatGPT or any other software like this, they're good at filling in the gaps when you actually have an idea. They say here that ChatGPT or any other software is great for filling in the gaps when you actually have an idea. In the example we just looked at, I gave a very specific prompt related to SEO in terms of keyword generation and cluster generation based on existing words. I came to the platform with these ideas in mind, and I think that's a really, really big part, is to remember that this is not going to replace anything creative, at least not yet. I think in terms of research and inspiration, this tool is absolutely awesome. But it's still on us to make sure that everything we create is unique and memorable and doesn't sound like a robot. While opinions on this platform differ, I think everyone can agree that the art of mastering ChatGPT is in the prompts that you write, and it normally requires a few to get it perfect. Here are some examples of excellent prompts that can inspire yours. There are three places that I go when I'm looking for prompt ideas. The first is on LinkedIn. I'm following this individual named Sam S, or if we're going to try to pronounce his last name, assuming it's pronounced like Szechuan, maybe that's Sichuan. He posts consistently really great different types of content all about ChatGPT and AI, OpenAI. So he gives examples, tools that you should try. His posts perform exceptionally well on LinkedIn, and he is my favorite content creator right now, sharing really useful, tangible content on this with many, many example prompts that you can see on screen. Now, honestly, I'm not trying to insult you by saying you can go to Google, but check this out. Best ChatGPT prompts for, and here we're going to use predictive search to get ideas on how to make this a more specific keyword. Just typing best ChatGPT prompts is too general. We need to think about how we're going to want to use this tool, and even just this free tool that is predictive search will start to give you ideas. Writing, marketing, business, resume writing, that's very specific. Let's go ahead. Academic writing, also very specific. I'm going to go back to this resume writing, and a Google search is going to send you to all kinds of reputable sources here where you can start to explore. But remember that predictive search is actually a tool in itself. Finally, I love to go to Pinterest for ideas. A lot of times because what is actually shown in the visual means that I might not even need to click into the article. So up here I typed best ChatGPT prompt ideas for marketers. Even that is a little bit too general. I'd want to get even more specific with my industry or practice, and this is just going to take some example searches. But again, Pinterest is awesome for finding ideas, use cases, examples on how people are using this tool effectively. So those are three places that I recommend going to get ideas. Now, I promised my opinion at the top of this video, so now I'm going to give it to you. Look, what we were able to create together in ChatGPT for SEO was absolutely incredible. And I'm not saying it's only SEO that you can use this tool for. I recommend really thinking about your business. What are some of those administrative tasks that you often get caught up doing? And how can this be used as a research or an information gathering tool? Now, I'll give an example of how I actually don't like using ChatGPT. So in my case, every time we publish a podcast episode, we quickly jot down notes while the podcast is being recorded, bullet points, just the general areas of things that get discussed in that episode's content. I have tried using ChatGPT to write a blog post from this, but it's still generic, it sounds robotic, and even when adjusting my prompt, I find that this is not the best tool for blog writing, content creation in this manner. So I use a paid tool called Anyword. Trust me, I've tried lots of tools out there, and I still find that because this, yes, paid tool, it's structured specifically for this use. They've done research related to copywriting specifically. I still find that this is well worth the investment than messing around in ChatGPT, which, yes, is very powerful, but it takes a long time to learn how to write prompts well, how to tweak it to get what you need, and you may find that you're actually not saving time in the end. So on screen, you're looking at a blog post that is actually being scripted from those bullet points that I included. Anyword is a partner of mine. They're not sponsoring this video, but I've talked about them previously. I'm an actual customer of this platform. I find that this is faster, more accurate, just generally better quality because, again, this platform is designed specifically for copywriting. In closing, I'm very excited about this tool, and I love that this platform is accessible to a lot more people compared to some of the paid tools that have actually been using this technology for years. However, I do not think this is going to replace humans or creativity, and certainly if you start to pump out content that all starts to sound the same, I think that might have a backfiring effect. If you're using ChatGPT to create content like blog posts, I definitely recommend making sure that the output is not plagiarized, and continue to sponge up resources, either free or paid, that help you learn the art of writing prompts. I certainly plan to talk about that more on this YouTube channel. So there is no doubt that ChatGPT is cool, and I'd imagine that it is powerful for many areas of your business, but it's going to take you some time to probably realize how you can fully integrate it and save time. I also think that there are many paid tools that access this technology in an interface that is oftentimes easier to navigate and understand quickly, and I am still a fan of those tools. Everything's starting to sound uniform, and the potential for plagiarism are pretty big concerns of mine still. ChatGPT is not necessarily creative, in my experience, and humans are still relied on for that at this stage. So navigate accordingly. I know that this is a hot topic, and I'm really curious to hear your take on ChatGPT, especially if your opinion differs from mine. Please share it below. I respond to comments personally, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say on this. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you. And subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. Next, I'm sharing a few videos I think you'll be interested in. I'm Pallen. Thank you for watching. Those are coming up next.